When it comes to traveling alone, fear is what keeps many of us on the couch, safe in our homes, surrounded by everything that's familiar. But you're afraid. You're afraid of the unknown. Like, you're afraid of what can happen. You don't know how to plan a trip. That's unknown. You don't know what to expect when you're on the road. That's unknown. What about danger? What dangers are real? What dangers are imagined? Those fears of the unknown then can spiral into things like, what if my car is stolen? What if somebody hurts me? What if I get lost? What if... deep breath, okay? I can help. And starting today, I'm going to help you put those fears into the rearview mirror so you can confidently set yourself up for a solo adventure that is filled with freedom and wonder and not fear. Hi, I'm Bing from WonderBing Travel. I have traveled over 60,000 miles into 46 states and several foreign countries, road tripping and seeking freedom and wonder on the road. And believe me when I say I have dealt with fear. I write a lot about fear and overcoming fear and anxiety in my book, There's Wonder Around the Bend. It is an inspiring guide for solo travelers. And the purpose of the book was really to help people seek freedom and wonder on the road, knowing that we have so many things that hold us back. Namely, the biggest one for women especially is fear. The first practical thing I can give you to help you work through that is my super simple guide to solo road trip safety. It covers 5 essential areas of safety. It provides actionable steps that lead to immediate results. And these are all things you can do before you ever put gas in your car and pull out of the driveway. There are plenty of things that will give you peace of mind and confidence before you hit the road. So use the link below, download the guide, and that is an immediate influx of confidence for you. Oh, and at the end of the video, I'm going to arm you with a super practical list of my favorite items that provides me with confidence when I'm traveling solo. So stick around for that. I can't wait to share it with you. So let's set the stage, provide a little bit of framework, and start with this. Fear is driven by emotion. It consumes, it debilitates, it causes us to freeze up, it holds us back. And even the thought of these fears can be enough to keep us right where we are. We don't even have to be literally experiencing them. It's just happening as we think about it. But we're going to retrain our brains to process and deal with those fears and anxieties by being practical and preparing. You can look at this as being armed for battle. You just need the right weapons, and then you need to understand the battlefield. So what are the weapons? They are things like information, practice, awareness, encouragement, education, and most importantly, purposeful planning. Think about this. Fear of the unknown is exactly that. But if those things you fear, places, people, experiences, if those become known instead of unknown, then the power's gone, right? That there is no more fear of the unknown because you have diminished the power of that with information, knowledge, experience, practice, planning, all of those things. So I'm going to be teaching you to take the power out of those fears and then make them work for you instead. So the gap between fear of the unknown and confident adventure, all of this can be filled quite easily with educating and equipping yourself. Think about this. You weren't born afraid. Have you ever thought about that before? Fear is something that we learn, and it likely took years for your different fears to take root in your life. Some of these are healthy fears, right? So like you learn not to touch the stove for fear of getting burned. You learn not to play in traffic for fear of getting hit by a car. You learn not to talk to strangers. These are healthy fears that you learn. But there are certainly a lot of unhealthy ones that we adopt over time too, and a lot of times we don't even realize it's happening. But we allow ourselves, often unknowingly, to fear things that we shouldn't. Think about COVID for a second, just for a minute, because I know we don't want to think about it too much. We all learn to fear so many things that we'd never thought about before, right? Some were rational fears, many were not. Some of us are still trying to retrain our brains to let go of some of those things that we ended up fearing that we no longer need to fear. One of my favorite quotes, which is actually a lyric to a Zach Williams song, calls it simply and clearly what it is. Fear is a liar. He will take your breath. He will stop you in your steps. He will rob your rest and steal your happiness. I don't want that. Do you? That is being consumed by fear and allowing fear to dictate what you do. So over the next few weeks, we're going to address specific concepts and practical ideas that's going to help you build confidence and then leave that anxiety in the rear view. We're going to name our individual fears, because yours are probably different than mine, and choose practical tools to work through and overcome. So I know you want examples and you want real things. So I'm going to give you 3 today. 3 ways you can practically equip yourself to move through your fear. And remember, it's all about the power of information and awareness, of exchanging emotion for information, and that breeds confidence. So let's look at 3 things that fall under the umbrella of fear of the unknown. And one of them is the unknown of traveling by yourself and staying in a hotel or an Airbnb or a motel or some lodging situation that you've never done before by yourself. That can create fears around the unknown for a lot of people. So how do you combat that? Okay, there's several ways. So on that first trip, I want you to plan in advance where you're going to stay. Know where you're driving that day. Where are you going to put your head down and go to sleep? If you're driving and you don't know, and there's a lot of fear around that for you, then don't start there. Start in a place where you've already vetted the place that you're going to stay and you feel comfortable. Well, how do you do that? Well, this is where the internet is definitely your friend, and you want to figure out, let's say you figure out whatever town you want to stay in or whatever. You want to read as many reviews as you can. Google the place, read the reviews on your screen that come up as Google reviews. Look directly on their website for reviews. Look at hotels.com or Travelocity or Airbnb or whatever it is, wherever you can find the place. And just read and read until you feel either comfortable or you're like, this is not a good vibe for me. As you do that, you're also going to be able to look at photos of the place and get lots of other information. I also suggest looking on Facebook to see if they have a Facebook page. You'll get lots of comments from people as well as photos and you'll find out what's going on there, and if it's a busy place or not busy, or how people feel about it and where it's located and all those kinds of things. One other really cool thing you can do is go onto Google and look at the location on Google Earth. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, you're just going to go to earth.google.com. and you're going to be able to search any place in the entire world. I have put in the location of West Cliff, Colorado, which is a place I just did my most recent video about, and you can check that out here, which is really cool. Beautiful, one of the most beautiful towns in the entire universe, in my opinion, in Colorado. In any case, if you want to take a little tour of West Cliff, you can do that for yourself. So here it is. I put in the town of West Cliff, and there you can see. Now, here's the thing. You want to go down in the bottom of your screen and go to Street View. If you've never done this before, it'll come up with blue lines. Anything that has a blue line is a place you can click on and go down to the Street View and see what it actually looks like. My little spot is on this side of the street. So right here you can see, let me go down a little bit, this little cute inn, okay? It's a country inn. It's in downtown West Cliff. You can see the front. You can see the street, you can see the lights, so I can tell, like, is this a safe place in terms of lighting, what kind of traffic. You can see the parking, and again, there is lighting here. So it's not in real time, of course, but it is showing you the area. And then you can go down the street if you want to look around and see, like, what else is going on nearby. Oh, well, if I looked carefully, I would find that there is a bakery right across the street, which is pretty cool. And there's a little shop across the street as well. So in any case, this is Google Earth. You can look to your heart's content, find everything you want to know about a location where you're thinking about staying, and it will help give you a vibe of what it's like in the area. The last thing I want to suggest, and it's super important, are some personal safety strategies. So once you arrive, You can take some of the anxiety over what that experience may be by knowing that when I get into my room, I'm going to do this, or when I get into the hotel, I'm going to do this. In my book, I outline a lot of these things in my safety chapter, and I also am going to have an upcoming video that's going to dive in a lot more to personal safety. So adopting some personal safety strategies definitely will take that fear of the unknown out. So those are all things you can do around lodging, right? That take the fear of the unknown out and instead equip you with confidence, and you know what you're doing and you have specific strategies. All right, let's move on to another one. How about hiking? So hiking is something that maybe you do a lot of it already, but you don't do it by yourself, and now you're going to be solo traveling and you're like, I'm going to want to go hiking. So what do I do? How do I get rid of that fear of the unknown of what that would be like? Well, the best thing you can do is to arm yourself with the AllTrails app on your phone. The AllTrails app gives you so much information that truly takes the unknown out of hiking in many ways. It leaves you plenty of room for all the excitement and beauty and all of those things, and the waterfalls and the views and all of that. But it gives you plenty of information. So if you have anxiety about where you would park, and does the parking feel safe, or what are other people saying about this hike, or what are other solo people saying about this hike, you can find all that and more on AllTrails. I actually did a video a while back on several apps that I will not travel without. You can check them out here, and I do a deep dive into AllTrails and how that can work for you. And of course, let's go back to that personal safety concept again. That's something that you can do to equip yourself to get the emotions of fear of the unknown away by learning what are the things that I can do to keep myself safe. What do I carry with me? And again, I'm going to do another video on this topic, and you can find a lot more information about this in my book as well. Okay, the last thing that I want to share as sort of a way to overcome some of that fear of the unknown, because women who are considering solo road tripping have so many questions, and you should. So yeah, read my book, because that's going to answer the vast majority of them. There's also another really great resource out there, and that is Facebook groups. Facebook groups for solo female travelers. There are so many of them. I actually have one myself. It's called the WonderBings. I'll put the link below. Please join. We'd love to have you. And it's a way for people to share their information about their experiences, ask questions. There are lots of groups. They have different niches, so you might find one for women over 50, women in Pennsylvania, women who are traveling in their RVs, women who only do tent camping, women who only stay in hotel. Like, you can find a group for lots of different things. There are ones out there that are specifically for Christian women, for example. So find something that works for you and just join the group. And there are so many posts and suggestions, and people ask questions. Anything you think of, you want to ask. A lot of them have reference tools built in, because people ask a lot of the same questions, and you can look at the resources and find things. So I highly suggest that. All of that, you guys, it's all about just information, right? Getting more information, because it's so easy to just sit on your couch and be scared and think, I just don't think I could do it. But if you think you might want to, and there's something inside of you that's like, I just really want to go try this. I want to have that amazing feeling of going around a corner and not knowing what's going to be there, and exploring and adventuring, and I'm at a time in my life where I can finally do that. Then these are practical things that you can do to make it such a rich experience and so much more exciting and comfortable, and you will feel confident, I promise you. So keep in mind, this is the beginning of a series on fear. We're going to tackle a different kind of fear for the next several videos and give you practical strategies to work through them. So name your fears. What are your fears of the unknown? What is the unknown stuff that really has you sort of like, I'm not sure? Absolutely put your questions in the comments. I'd love to know what you're afraid of and how I can help you. Grab my book. But please get the guide. That's a great place to start, because you're going to get strategies right away today that are going to give you confidence and give you an opportunity to immediately have tangible strategies and things that you can do before you ever take off on the road. Okay, last thing. I promised you that I had a list of super practical items that I would share with you. So on Amazon, I've created a wish list, basically, of safety items for you. Things that I've used and tried and love and will use again and again while I travel. So those are things that will help take fear of the unknown out of it for you by giving you practical tools that you can physically use when you are on your trip. So check it out below and find a few things that will empower you and make you feel confident when you're solo road tripping, or buy them for a friend. Like, subscribe. WonderBing Travel is my brand here, my channel. I'd love to have you along for the ride. I do tons of videos on practical things like this, as well as vlogging. Here's my most recent playlist of 34 days that I did on the road, solo road tripping this summer through 15 states and over 6,000 miles. And I vlogged every day so that people could see what it's really like to solo road trip, and I lived out all of the things that I write about in my book. So come along for the ride. I hope to see you on the road, and let me know what I can do to help you.